Yes, hello. Welcome to the Tulip Airway YouTube channel. This is video 9. This is all about how to introduce the Tulip Airway into a clinical environment such as your hospital or a clinic. And we'll have some hard-hitting questions like why should you even bother? So, first part of the presentation is why should you bother? The second part is the initial recommendations of what to do and how to do it. Then we'll go on to FAQs and then how to demo a tulip and basically learn. Now, the first part of the presentation is what is a Tulip Airway? How does it work? Now, I've covered that in the other video, so I won't be doing all of that again. What is the main competition and how does it differ, I think, is a more important question. Why is the Tulip better and what the key advantages and what the people who've already used it say, e.g., what's the feedback? So, questions 1, 2, and 3. What is it? Where does it? How does it work? And where is it placed? Basically, are all answered in video 1. Now the reason I refer to this is so that what I intend to do is walk you through what to find, where to find it, and so that you can just refer quickly to whatever particular facts you need. Now the point of this is you'll notice that I've written at the bottom here there's a full playlist in the description. Also the individual videos are listed by name and number, so when I say video 1, if you go to the description you can go straight there. Now what I recommend is that you see that full list, a playlist in the description. I recommend that you check out the videos by name and number, and I also recommend that you watch each video as we come to it in this particular debrief, so that I can guide you through it. So, as I said, walk you through it, I think is the phrase I chose. It's really about where do you find the answers you need when you need them. So I recommend that you now watch video 1. So if you go to the description, click on video 1 and then basically just ingest what the Tulip Airway is. Again, the full descriptions, in the description there's a full playlist and the videos by name. Now this background is really so that you can pause this video, watch video 1 and then come back to this video at this stage when you see this still. Now presentation 1 goes on to talk about what's the main competition. Well, the Tulip Airway can replace everything pretty much, all Goodell's, a lot of cushion face masks. Now, I mean, if you're not using a Goodell, why do you need a cushion face mask for anything? That's, one of the questions. Standard oxygen masks, ear loop types, I understand. Laryngeal masks, we can replace all of those. Eye gels, we can replace all of those. And ET tubes, about 20%, because we can do the ENT, dental and nasal surgery on them, on tulips that is. So, how does it differ from the competition? Video 2. It shows you some dramatic evidence of that it saves lives, which is hugely different, and then video 6 goes through the unique abilities of the tulip, such as bronchoscopy, upper GI endoscopy, endotracheal intubation, and ENT functions that are completely different from the competition. So I recommend now you pause this video, watch video 2 and 6, and then come back to this video. Again, in the playlist you'll find the full description and all of the videos by name and number. Now, why is the tulip better? That is in video 3. That gives you a rationale as to why you should replace all Goodell airways worldwide. Video 4 tells explains the potential possibility that it might be unethical not to. And that I think is reasonably convincing in the Goodell and mask replacement arena. LMAs and eye gels are a slightly different matter, but not really. A little, but whether you replace an LMA or an eye gel is really your choice. Okay, so I recommend you watch video 3 and 4 and then come back to this place. You'll find the link in the playlist, videos listed by name and number. Now, so what are the key advantages of the tulip, right? We've gone through the cricothyroidotomy and the life-saving maneuvers. We've gone through the video of why it's better than a Goodell and should really be replacing the Goodell airways worldwide, and we've given you some statistical evidence to suggest that in fact the improvement is so big that I'm wondering what bigger improvement any healthcare provider could make. But you've already watched videos 2, 3 and 4. So you should be aware of the key advantages by now. Now, in video 2, you also noticed what, another question that I was asked: what do Tulip users say? What's the feedback? So you saw that there was, the consultant comments ×2 about the emergency scenarios, and you saw 2 about starved elective anaesthesia. Okay, so what are the introduction recommendations? Who's the main target? What's the main application area? Main advantage in this application area? What other areas are suitable for a tulip, and why? What's the sequence of introduction? Where do you go first? How do you demo the device? Who should use it, and the key points, use of samples, and what's the key objections? So, who's the main target? The answer is everybody. Hospitals, clinics, ambulances, police, fire services, McDonald's defibrillator boxes, and then ultimately your house. So this is all first line airway interventions everywhere. All. Now, you can do about 80% of starved elective anaesthesia on a tulip, and the ones that you're using an endotracheal tube, you really want to be using a tulip for introduction and recovery. Now, where's the main application area? Well, it's all clinical environments. So A&E, ER, the wards, intensive care, ambulances, you name it. What's the main advantage? Well, you saw the videos. So we're talking about ease of use, 100% effective, up to 250% more oxygen. Now imagine that in times of dire emergency resuscitation, Lower ventilation pressure, so regurgitation is reduced. Bigger tidal volumes, saves money, and people find it a lot easier. Okay, so what's the main advantage? Well, it saves lives and it saves money. Video 8 will demonstrate that. Feel free to watch a video 8 and then come back to this still so that you can connect back in with this video. Again, have a look at in the description, look for the playlist and the video's name and number. Now, what other areas are suitable? Well, the answer is all areas, all medical facilities, operating theatres. You really need it for emergency, accident and emergency. Wards, it's easier for the nurses to use, so they need it. Ambulances, easier for paramedics to use. Also hands-free, a big deal for them. The military seems to love it. Now, what's the sequence of introduction? Okay, watch the videos, understand the location and the principle of function. Work out what the right size is. Now, there is a video specifically about that. Then try it in mannequins, try it in humans. I recommend you start with a size 2 green in a female, 5'4", 5'6" inch. That'll give you a rough estimation of what to do and what the sizes are. You should be able to see the cuff in the back of the mouth, and the connector should just be slightly away from the lips. So where do you start? Well, I think operating theatres, because I think it's fair to say that anaesthetists lead the way on this. But the point is, it's not necessarily. There's a high requirement for airways in A&E, accident and emergency rooms. We need a higher requirement for ease of use in ambulances, on the wards, and for the military. So I recommend you basically start everywhere. Multiple introduction levels at every level, expert, beginner, and the sooner you get started, the sooner you'll notice the benefits. So how do you demonstrate the device? Well, first demo in a mannequin. Now I use TrueCore mannequins, right? That's quite efficient and easy learning, easily translates into a clinical environment. You might remember from one of the videos that basically the clinical trial proved that, because all of our studies were done by a single training session on a mannequin, and then the user was given a real tulip and a real patient, and it just worked beautifully. So learn the introduction. Watch the way the cuff inflates and lifts the chin and the tongue forwards. Understand the principles of the seal and in its oropharyngeal location. But intubation is much more easily practiced in mannequins, so I recommend you do that too. So who should use it and what are the key points? Right, now key opinion leaders usually lead the way, but the Tulip Airway is for everybody, so you don't need to use them. Anyone, you go and ask your senior nurse, right? Do you like this? Do you ask your recovery sister? Do you like this? It's not all about consultants, because having an arrest at home, there's no consultants. Somebody falling over in McDonald's, there's no consultants. So introduce from the top down and the bottom up. Maximum effect, maximum benefit as quickly as possible. Basically attend to every skill level simultaneously. all clinical environments. Now, that's just about a matter of where you are. Then we'll get to domestic, which is what the real purpose is of a tulip. Right. I recommend you buy some and try some, because basically me chatting all day isn't what's going to persuade you. You finding out just how easy this is, once you've learned what it is, where you put it, how you put it in, what not to do, picking the right size is what you need to learn, right? If you pick the right size, it'll work, all right? You won't cause any damage, but basically that's what you need to really focus on. Using a tulip is the only way to learn. Now, the first 3 times, I think it's fair to say it's all tentative, isn't it? So like, all made, that's okay, all right, work first time. Oh, okay, second, all right, not bad. Number 3, let's just check. 3, okay, confirmed. So number 4 is the first time you really try it, isn't it? Like, okay, I'm going to give this a go now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? You need to do it quickly. You need to do it in several patients. You need to make some mistakes. You need to get the sizes right. That's too small. That's too big. If a tulip is too big, replace it, put a smaller one in. If it's too small, take it out, put a big one in. You won't know till you put it in. And once you've done that a few times, you'll know what the right size for a person is. But you won't do it without. You have to put a few in, won't you? I think about 10 times, you know, and then you're like, yeah, this is easy. But remember, this is a new device, new method, new skills, right? So, it's all right. What are the key objections? Well, I've got to tell you, the only thing we ever get asked about is regurgitation, right? But here's the thing. The tulip is safer and better than the current method. Video 5 describes that, gives you the rationale, whole arguments on that. So I recommend you watch tulip video 5 and then come back to here. You'll find the whole playlist on the description, and in the description there's also videos by name. So you can go straight to video 5, come back to this screenshot when you've done that. Now, frequently asked questions. Okay, basically people who ask me, you know, to do this vid, basically they said, can you list typical questions that are asked by clinicians during the introductory process? We need the answers. All right, typical objections. Well, basically, these are the videos that matter most. Number 7, number 5, and number 2, right? So how to use it, those are the typical questions. What size, how cuff pressures, you know, what should I use in a man, what should I use in a woman, what's it all about? So there's the usual typical questions, right? And part of the introductory process. Here's the usual objection, which we just discussed. So regurgitation, the fact that tulip gives you bigger tidal volumes and reduces ventilation pressure compared to Goodell and Mask and what you did today. And then basically, of course, you know, the typical questions is what do you mean you can do intubation? What do you mean you can do ENT? What do you mean you can do bronchoscopy? What do you mean upper GI? You know, so there are the questions that answer in video 2. Now, you've watched the others, but watch video 7 now. Again, playlist, videos, description, you understand. So, how do you demo it? Well, we have 2 demonstration videos, 1 and 2. If you watch them both, do exactly what I've done in these videos. Use a green. You could even get an orange in here. That gets a little bit close to the lips there, so you could use an orange in a mannequin. Now, that's a true core mannequin, that one. I think it's called an AirSim Advanced, but I think they've all changed since I bought that. Okay, so any questions, you let me know. But basically, that should basically walk you through where are the most frequent questions, what the objections are, how do you do it, what do you do, what don't you do. That should all really be there. Otherwise, of course, if you need further information, you can visit the website. Please like, subscribe and share, because I think this kind of information needs to get out there. And if you want to write to us at info@tulipairway.co.uk, we'll answer any questions that you have, put you in touch with local distributors, you know, whatever it is that you need. Speak soon.